Welcome back to another Q4 video intended to help set you up for success so that your business can thrive during the most profitable time of year for Etsy print on demand. Today's video is all about holiday designs, and I'm going to be sharing with you my 3 cardinal rules for mastering designs, as well as my 4 design hacks for creating holiday designs that will sell. In case you haven't met yet, my name is Mandy and as the owner of multiple 6-figure businesses, including Etsy print-on-demand shops, my goal is to provide you with strategies to simplify the journey and scale your business faster so that you can stop the overwhelm, start making progress, and thrive with your print-on-demand business. If you've heard anything about e-commerce or retail in general, you probably know that for most stores, Q4 is the biggest time of year and refers to the last 3 months of October, November, and December. It's true for big box stores, it's true for online stores, it's been true for my handmade business for the last 6 years, and Etsy print on demand is no different. In the last 3 months of 2022, I made over $70,000 in revenue with a relatively new shop that was less than a year old. If you want to see the full breakdown of numbers and profit for that shop, I've linked my other Q4 prep video for you below. It's now September of 2023, so that means you've got just a few weeks left before we are fully into Q4. In my last video, I talked about my top selling products. And so for today, I want to talk about how to create best-selling designs specifically for the holidays that you can use on products like that. But first, I've got a few cardinal rules when it comes to design, and I've tailored them a bit for the holidays. Rule number 1, start with research. I know what you're thinking. Research? Why is that first? And more importantly, why is it a rule? And the reason is simple. You need to understand customer demand and what's actually selling in the marketplace. Skipping this means that you're guessing instead of using data to support your decisions. How do you find demand? Start on Etsy. You don't even need a tool for this. Head to Etsy. For seasonal items, type in broad searches like Christmas shirts. Look for bestseller badges. Click into listings on the first page that aren't an ad, and look for in-cart designations or high view alerts from the last 24 hours. Look for popular now badges. Repeat this process based on shirts for women or men. Look at aesthetics that aren't necessarily just Christmas or holidays so that you can see what customers are actively buying. Repeat this process based on your niche. Not sure if you have a niche? Start with the homework in my free course playlist. I intentionally have you start with what you know. We all have different interests and things that we identify with, and that can be a great starting place. Keep these searches broad to begin with. The point is not to get too narrow, but to understand broadly where the marketplace is performing well and what customers are actively buying. Then use that information as clues as to what you can design for and target with your own audience. If you want to take a deeper dive on research with me and see some of the other tools that I use for this, I've linked the research video from my time blocking series. Rule number 2, do not copy or include copyrighted or trademarked elements in your design. As you are researching from rule number 1, the point is to look at the composition, the aesthetics, the fonts, the color palettes, the styles, the feelings that a design generates. That is where demand lives, and that is how designs resonate with target audiences. Copying another designer's idea is never okay. And it's a terrible way to build a business because you're just adding a copy of what's already in the market. The key to mastering design and demand and creating products that will sell is creating something new and unique. This is also the point where I will tell you no Grinch, no Disney, no Swiftie merch, none of that. I get it. The fast cash is tempting and it seems like everybody else is doing it. But you're ultimately playing with fire and it can get you suspended on a payment reserve or worse, banned altogether. Spoiler alert, you can't make money from a platform you're no longer allowed to use. And rule number 3, create unique designs based on your research and the demand from rule number 1. For example, if you see a lot of styles with collegiate fonts in demand, think about how you can incorporate that into a holiday version for your niche. If you see that a certain phrase is catching on, can you change some of the words and give it a holiday meaning? If you see a lot of retro or vintage styles and elements in designs that are selling well, think about how you can incorporate that aesthetic into your design. This means don't just add the words Merry Christmas in a basic font with red and green letters and a clip art Santa hat on a basic white shirt and call it a day. And for the love of all things, please don't simply take a Canva or Creative Fabrica design and slap it on a shirt as is without changing or adding anything. It's tempting. There's good stuff out there as is, and I get it. But the problem is that you then start competing with the 5,000 other sellers that literally did the exact same thing. And then you wonder why it becomes a race to the bottom on price. Not only that, Canva doesn't allow you to sell products with single elements as is, and is actually a violation of Etsy Terms of Service, which says that you must have a hand in the product you are selling unless you are selling supplies. That means as a print-on-demand seller, you are using a production partner to make and fulfill your item, and therefore you must have a hand in the design process. So you can absolutely use elements from Canva or Creative Fabrica or Kittl or whatever you use for designing, but you need to make changes to it, you need to add multiple elements, and you need to make it your own. Take the time to leverage research, marketplace demand, and your target audience to create a design that will ultimately sell without being a race to the bottom on price. As you can probably tell, I am unapologetically blunt about these rules because demand and design can make or break a seller. Is SEO important? Absolutely. Is price important? Of course. If you've taken my free masterclass course here on this channel, you know that they all work together. But if your design is not good, or if there is no demand, it will not sell. Period. Now that we've got our rules established, let's dive into my 4 favorite hacks for creating designs for the holiday season that will sell and meet the demand of customers. Number 1, use Chat GPT for a phrase or idea that's specific to your niche. For example, whether you are designing for shirts or mugs or tote bags, witty phrases that apply to a specific target audience always do well. Or even designs where there's just a couple words on the shirt, but they're specific to an audience, those do well. Why? They create a special connection that resonates with a specific customer, as though it speaks to them. To do this, you do need to have a specific niche in mind. This is where leveraging some research and doing your homework comes in. Let's say I want to use a math teacher sub-niche as an example. Regular teacher niches can be super broad. Math teacher could be a way to go. I might then prompt ChatGPT with something like 20 funny shirt phrase designs with a Christmas theme that only a math teacher would understand. Then I might also cross-niche it with a concept that is different from teachers, but could also have connections. So for example, incorporate a love of coffee. I typically like to prompt it for a bunch of designs all at once so that I get a wide variety of options, and then I can refine and pick and choose from there. So for this example, I know that the short one-word phrases are popular on Etsy, and when I combine that with the math teacher sub-niche and Christmas and a love of coffee, I might do something like this: coffee, cosines, Christmas lights. The cool thing about designs like this is that they're scalable. If your target audience is teachers, you could have an entire sub-niche section in your shop devoted to math teachers. Cosines are going to resonate with teachers of higher grade levels. Don't ask me to tell you what they are, but you could swap out cosines for parallelograms or number scales for math teachers of younger grades. Or you could do something similar for reading teachers, physical education, music teachers, and so on. Similarly, the holidays are another great time for group shirts. You can also prompt ChatGPT for things like that. For example, 30 ideas for most likely to phrases for a teacher group of Christmas shirts, or family shirts, or bachelorette shirts, and so on. Hack number 2, use data from your own shop to identify what's working and turn it into a holiday design. If you don't have any sales yet, look at your listings with the visits and favorites and go from there. That will give you clues as to what's already starting to gain interest from searches. As an example from the Dog Mom shop that I use for this channel, this Dachshund silhouette sweatshirt typically does pretty well. So I'm going to take that design, bring in a Christmassy color palette, maybe add a Santa hat or some other holiday elements. I could also change the mama to Mary or leave it as is, possibly a string of lights, and voila, a Christmas design based on a proven past high-performing design. I might then swap out for a Christmas-themed mock-up to really give it the full aesthetic in the search results. I can apply the same concept to the personalized pocket designs that I have in my shop for different breeds. I can even make it more wintry with a winter hat and a scarf versus Christmas elements to create pops of color in what is normally a pretty minimalist design with personalization. Number 3, trend combine and scale it. In my design trend video from a couple weeks ago, I took the In My Era vibe and turned it into a niche specific design. So I can take that same concept, rework it a little for the holiday spirit, and now I have an In My Very Merry Burner Mama era. And when I talk about scaling, this same design could easily be used for any other dog breed out there or entirely different category of niches altogether. With this design, I specifically went with something other than the typical holly jolly that is currently on an abundance of designs and listings out there, so that this one will stand out. Not to mention, fun fact, holly jolly is actually trademarked, so it technically should not get used anyway. And number 4, if you don't want to go the full trend route, use elements from a trend. For example, as I mentioned earlier, the collegiate style fonts are a very popular style right now to have something big and bold across the front of a shirt design. So in this case, I might do a Mary Burner Mama with a paw print and lights or some other elements that again are related to the niche or target audience that I'm trying to sell this to. And then if I wanted to add some personalization, I could even include an established year or even the dog's name. There are a variety of different directions you can go simply by pulling in elements from designs that are doing well in the marketplace. There are lots of different ways to stand out with your holiday designs, but these have been some of my favorites that are not only based on marketplace demand, but that can also be easily adapted to a variety of niches and scaled. If you are in the midst of figuring out what you should be doing right now to prepare your shop for Q4, head to my Q4 prep video that I linked for you. Spoiler alert, this time last year, my focus was entirely on scaling fast and getting volume of listings out into the marketplace. So what can you do right now as we move through this last month before Q4? Set a listing goal and challenge yourself to meet that goal over the course of the next few weeks. The algorithm cannot start ranking your shop and learning your keywords to attract customers to your shop if you are not feeding it information in the form of listings. You cannot sell what you do not have listed. I've also put together a brand new Ultimate Q4 guide that is available in my digital store that I have linked below. It's full of design tips, popular holiday niches, additional Chat GPT prompts, a listing calendar to help you know what to list and when for Q4, and my checklist for both Q4 prep and Q4 survival. It can be purchased on its own, or if you are part of my Simply Thrive Club, it has already been added to the resource vault for you. And if you're looking for a little extra encouragement and support and want to be surrounded by fellow print-on-demand entrepreneurs on the same journey, I would love to have you be part of our growing membership community in the Simply Thrive Club. Many of my members are doing a 28-day listing challenge as this month's group challenge. It's intended to set you on the path of spending 4 weeks of taking daily action so that you can start making progress and get your shop staged for success going into Q4. Also starting later this month, I will be opening up virtual office hours within the community where I will be available live a few extra times each month for the rest of the year within the membership community to answer questions and support members in navigating Q4. If you're seeing this later in the year and still want to join the membership to take part in the challenge, or be able to pop in during my virtual office hours, we'd love to have you. It's never too late. Access to past community challenges and live calls are always available in the group. I hope this has been helpful for you. If you want to learn more about my strategies for thriving in your print-on-demand business, make sure you got the notifications turned on for my channel so that you don't miss out on any of my content. And in the meantime, be sure to check out the dedicated playlist with my full print-on-demand masterclass course right here on my YouTube channel, as well as my time blocking series for an even deeper dive on the critical steps for success. Thanks for watching. I'm so glad you're here, and I'll see you in the next one. If you're looking for more ways to continue the journey and stay connected, I'm so excited to invite you to my brand new membership, the Simply Thrive Club. Unlike other programs, this is not a course. In fact, it's not even a program in the traditional sense. And that's because all of the steps that you need to build your print-on-demand business can be obtained for free on my channel through a variety of videos and playlists that I've put together specifically to help you on your journey. My in-depth course is not behind a paywall. So instead, this new membership is all about community with ongoing challenges to drive growth and a support system for accountability to keep going. It's goal setting to maximize your pockets of time and stay organized so that you can thrive even amidst a busy schedule. And it's action taking with expert resources and tools in order to master skills necessary for scaling faster and more efficiently. That is where the magic happens in your print-on-demand journey. Your willingness to clarify your goals, commit with consistency, and adapt your mindset and your approach so that you understand what will work and what won't. This totally new platform is a community that is off of social media and away from spam and distractions, including a community app. I've created over 80 plus professional mockups with more on the way. There are monthly accountability challenges because did I mention I'm all about consistency? I've included the ability to request quarterly comprehensive shop audits and live group calls each month where we can talk about all things print on demand, time blocking, setting realistic goals, finding process efficiencies, and so much more. Be sure to check it out, and in the meantime, keep going, keep learning, and keep growing on your print on demand journey.